Hey, hello everybody, welcome. I think I am live. I'm gonna give it a minute because I never know if it's like, is it live immediately? Or am I gonna be like talking? I guess I should figure this out eventually by actually watching one of my own streams. But anyways, now it's probably good now that I've, oh, and I also have to turn on my, there we go. Boom, look at that vivid color. Hello, my name is Keith Burgun. This is the Clockwork Game Dev Show. Um, November 23rd. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a sort of like news kind of show. I've got a bunch of news stories that I want to talk about. And I also have a guest, a co-host that I'm going to bring on shortly. But also, before I do all that, I do need to tell my people. We're good. Boom. Tell my Discord at least that I'm live at here. Sure. Okay. Cool. Let's bring on Pete. So what's it called? Had a really great show last Wednesday. If you missed it, there's 5 or 6 hours up. I put them up on YouTube. That went really well. Raph Koster, Dan C, Frank Lance, who wasn't even scheduled. He just showed up. Great. Who else? I don't even remember who else. Bunch of other game devs. Stephen Hutton, of course. Okay, getting No More Birds on here. Bloop. I'm gonna need headphones, I just realized. So, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. Can you, am I sounding okay?
1 second. I think I need to turn you up a little bit on my end. Say a word.
A word.
Word.
Is that joke played out, or can you still
Um,
get some use out of it?
I don't know. I think it's like it's not even really a joke. It's like you're just saying a word. The word is a word, you know.
Yeah.
So you're meeting the criteria exactly to the T. And
Mm.
yeah, I there's probably we could come up with a joke for that, but I don't think that's quite. You could just say it wasn't a joke. That's your way
Well,
out.
I mean, the joke is that, like, they say something, and then you say something,
Uh huh.
right?
Yeah, but that also you could just be like, "What? I'm just being very literal," you know?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's the
How's it going?
good.
Uh,
Pretty good.
how? Yeah. What are you up to? Do you want to talk about what you're doing or working on or anything before we get started on talking about
Um,
news stuff?
well, I'm working on. I don't know if it's common knowledge, but the working on is the Gem Wizards Tactics intro. Um, so that's fun and exciting.
Yeah, that is. I saw some of your work for that, and it was really awesome. I was like hoping that you would do something way less good. It's like coming out
Oh,
like so incredibly awesome, and it's really great.
I thought for a sec to do something less good, but I
Yeah.
was like, nah. Let's
Nah. Yeah, I mean
do
that's
something
how.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm really excited for that. Anything else? How's you're doing a web comic, right?
Yeah, webcomic I haven't touched in, I think it's over a month now.
Okay.
But I do have people pestering me about it, so I'm gonna get back to that soon.
Sweet.
um,
Yeah, no, that's really coming along. You have how many pages do you have on that guy now?
I want to say it's like 26 or something, which it doesn't sound like a lot when you say it like that, but it's takes a long time, I guess, to
I'm gonna bring up
uh,
your Twitter and we can show people if you want. Do you want to do that or would you
uh,
rather?
sh- sure.
Yeah, just so people can see what you do.
I
Um,
think it's still the pinned tweet, so.
cool.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's I need to like set up a whole, so you can actually like view it as a comic should be viewed or whatever.
right. Oh, you know
Because
what?
right
There's
now it is just a Twitter thread.
I searched. I'm not logged in on Twitter on this thing. What's your Twitter username? Because I for some reason I just went to No More Birds, and there's some
Oh,
jerk who has your No More Birds
yeah,
Twitter account. You need
yeah.
to
It's kind of
assassinate this
a,
guy.
it's kind of a, yeah. It's a crime, I want to
Yeah,
say.
definitely.
I have been thinking about legal action on that, but
Okay, good, good.
haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, it's Beosnook,
Right.
Beosnook.
Theo Snook.
That's an older username
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Boom,
from
boom,
other
boom.
things.
Yeah, Gentle Dark is the name of the comic. And you've got
Yeah.
like a million pages, I think, is the right number, right?
Mm-hmm. It's close.
And I like it because it's got skulls in it.
Yeah, I was trying to like, cause I just started it with no plan, cause
Mhm.
I wanted to do a web comic, and it was like I started like, writing one. Like I had like a design doc where I was like really like thinking out a world and characters and stuff, and I
Yeah.
just like it got really overwhelming. So I was like, I'm gonna do the opposite thing and just
Mhm.
draw a thing.
Yeah.
So that's like the first page is the crappiest page, I think, and then it slowly gets better.
Well, it's a
uh,
very valid way to make things, I think, because you
yeah, the
know,
just start method.
yeah, just start and like whatever. So what? Then the first, it's like how many shows the first season even like the first,
Exactly.
yeah, the
Yeah.
first episode is garbage, or even the first whole season sometimes is like unwatchable, and then you
Hmm.
gets it, lets it like sort of build on itself, and it eventually becomes really cool. And by the way, your comic is not garbage at all in the beginning; it's great, but
Hey, thanks.
I think that the just the basic idea of like just kind of like moving forward and making stuff and then figuring it out with the specifics later is a really good
Hmm.
approach for anything really. I think you can do that with you can kind of do that with games. It's a little more costly. I mean, just it just costs so much to make games in terms of time, compared to almost
Yeah,
anything
it's
else.
a bigger commitment. Though I guess if it's like, if you're not doing anything, like if you're making like an adventure game or something, that's a very like, it's just content really.
Hmm.
So that's something I think you can just start making it, and like, if you have to like redo the first level or something, that's not that big a deal, I guess. I mean,
Right.
it's not the greatest, but yeah, with a strategy game, I don't know, it's definitely harder to just like uh let's just see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. The more, yeah. So I think there's probably certain kinds of stories that are more like that too. Like I think a rolling web comic is good for this kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. And like you were saying, like a TV show or something, like
Hmm.
the first few episodes or season can be not that great,
Right.
just good enough to get renewed, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
yeah, a web comic I think is the ideal thing to do it with, because I don't know.
Well,
There's
it's in the right pocket
this.
because, like, even more ideal in a way would be like just writing a story. And like some people have done that thing where they like write a blog, like a story in multiple blog posts, basically. But I feel
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that's not like for a lot of people that's like not quite enough of like that's not expensive enough. It's like too cheap to make just text. So
right,
web comics are like right in that perfect pocket, I feel like, where
yeah,
you have to have some expertise in like art and stuff, and it is time consuming. It's very time consuming making comics. I made comics
yeah,
for Dragon Bridge, and it's just like it takes days, and
right,
but it's still reasonable for one person to make. um
yeah.
so it's kind of in a sweet spot there.
Hmm.
All right, so you want to talk about some news stories?
Yeah, let's bring on the news.
Okay, so the idea here is there's like there's that NYU show, the discourse show with Frank Lance and Naomi Clark, and I just wanted to rip it off and like just do that on my show. Um
Right.
and
And
so
we've got some great talent here for this to usurp
oh
Frank
yeah.
Lance.
No, I mean the idea is to do it worse. We're gonna do like
Right.
a worse job. We also don't have like a they've got I think at some point it was like I forget who it was, but somebody who's like doing like they have a producer and stuff. But we don't have anything like that. We're just going open up some
Oh, and they're off this week. That's perfect.
Oh, they're off this week. Wow. Very nice. Very cool.
And yeah, and I like that the name we came up with was News Show.
News show. That's right.
With No
Boom.
More
I mean,
Birds.
honestly,
Pretty good.
that's not that less
Yeah,
like
than the
creative
Discourse.
than Discourse. There's like 5 podcasts called The Discourse, and like
It's funny too because neither relates to games, right?
uh
Like
yeah,
you know,
true.
like the title doesn't relate to games.
Right,
You wouldn't
right.
know that it was a game show.
Yeah, it's true. You have to know the channel in both cases, I think.
Right.
Um Okay, cool. So let's do some stories. I think this is the first one that I went into, that I read. And there's like a theme to some of these. You can't see my screen, can you? So I have to just tell you.
I can see yours. I'm watching the stream.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah,
I'm trying not to look at your face because your reactions are delayed to what I say.
Oh,
So
I see.
That throws me off.
That is weird. Yeah. Yeah, put like a little, put like scroll me off the screen. In fact, everyone should just do that, probably.
Yeah, I have a post-it note over there anyway.
Perfect. There you go. That's what those are for. All right, so this is an article just about. This is kind of like it's like an interview, I think. Right? Is this the one that's? Yeah, this is an interview with.
Yeah, this is an interview.
Yeah, and most of it's like whatever. It's kind of just like talking about the game in a sort of general way. But the thing that was interesting about it was I mean, they have this, they're like committed to like doing an apolitical game. And you can see that in like little examples. Like they were like, we didn't want to do anything have it related to COVID at all, right? Is it this that one?
Yeah. Yeah, he also says, he says at the beginning that he didn't want to pivot to something that's happening historically because you don't know if it's going to be relevant later or something like that.
Which is weird because it's a game about the Cold War, and the Cold War is not relevant now. Like that's So that's kind of like, I think, just one of those like hints at this bigger issue.
He said something about just wanted. Let me do a search for. Oh, whoops, wrong. This word. Yeah. Yeah. Someone was saying. On a show he was doing, they were asking him if he was going to weave the idea of COVID into the show, even though it takes place in the future.
Yeah.
And he said, I find that a little irrelevant. I like to keep the intent of the story and concept pure. So that also, I feel like, hints at what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The keep the story pure. So it has nothing to do with anything. It's just
pure story about the black like these weird black ops in during the Cold War, and also like it's funny because, and then at the same time though, they do this Reagan shit, which that
video you linked to me.
Yeah.
Sir, Mr. President, sir.
It's like not at all
President, this is
neutral, I feel like.
I know their names.
In fact,
approved their last mission.
This it's so funny because have you ever seen that old SNL sketch about Reagan?
Probably not.
Let me pull that up. This is from the late 80s. SNL Reagan. There's this one. President Reagan mastermind. So the joke in this sketch is that Reagan is like this super badass. So let me just go up to. I'm just trying to get to like the key bits here, but it's like, yeah. So he acts like a Mr. Rogers, like a dopey Mr. Rogers or whatever, when he's talking to like the press or talking to like little kids, like this. Yeah.
Trying to find out what happened because none of us know.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
And then the minute everybody leaves, he's like this like super badass.
Right, like jumping into action, kind of.
Right.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
President.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and that the Cold War game like totally.
I'm only gonna go through this once, so
There are all these people for it.
One, Casey.
Sorry, I'm watching on the delay here.
To fund the Contras. The C-5As with the tow missiles and grenade launchers.
Like he's like super like intricate, detailed, specific things. I always like that sketch. But anyways,
Yeah.
This has a similar kind of thing going on, where
Is the threat real? Yes, sir, we believe it is.
but it's not a joke though.
We can, sir.
Yeah, it's like played totally straight.
Yeah.
Sir,
At least it feels like it. I don't know. Maybe it's like super evolved satire or something. But
Yeah, and it's like Reagan was not that long ago. I mean, especially if you consider like that, you know, Bush Senior and Bush's son, and like to say that this is like an apolitical presentation of like history and some kind of like, you know,
Right.
it's like it's one thing if it was like I don't know,
And
like one of the you really can't show a president in an apolitical way, I feel like, right?
yeah, and like even if you like rewind to when Reagan's like entering and stuff with like the music and stuff, it's like very how he's framed is
Yes.
very like this is the guy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, oh man, they brought in the big dog or whatever.
Yeah, here comes Reagan.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, and I guess like even more or also interesting, I think with this game specifically, I've heard, I don't actually know the specifics, but just that they added in, or they changed history. Like obviously it's fictitious, but like they changed a lot of stuff to make the, you know, US not look so bad and stuff.
Mhm.
For some of these things, like it's, you know, it's like Iran's fault or something. Like a lot of the villain behind the scenes is Iran, of course.
Sure, yeah.
I can't remember specifically, but like, you know, and that's super political too, right? To like,
Yeah. Like they're taking a side in this like weird you know, basically propaganda operation. And so it's the least apolitical thing you could possibly do, really. I mean, like it's like politics with a capital P politics. It's not even like political in the way that like everything is political. It's politics like no, actually like electoral, you know, like
yeah. Yeah. I like not even political in the way that everything's political. It just is political straight up. I don't know how this guy could say it's not.
Right. And it's so weird that they have this desire to say that it isn't, you know, like why, where is that coming from? I don't know if you saw this article about Panzer General. It wasn't one of our official stories that we were going to talk about, but it was one that I read.
Was this the one you linked me, or was this the ethics one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this I started skimming it and then realized how long it was, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's very long, and most of it is not specific to Panzer General or video games at all. Most of it is like really detailed history about you know, World War II German history. Specifics about these specific Nazis, like Rommel, it talks a lot about. But the key point is that what's it called? Oh, it's funny. I just had this recollection of the history. It's funny because when I was growing up, my dad watched so much History Channel, and my mom found it really irritating, and she would always call it. She would always call it derisively the Hitler Channel.
Oh, because it's always like World War II stuff.
Yeah, it's always World War II stuff, and it's like it's kind of, I don't know. It is weird that, you know, on the one hand, like, okay, yeah, World War II was a big deal, but at the same time, like this fascination with Hitler, and, you know, just like sitting there watching Hitler shows all the time. I don't know. It can get kind of weird, but Panzer General is really weird because you're playing as Nazis, and I remember trying to play Panzer General, and there's a lot of things that would turn one off about Panzer General, but one of the things
they
is
have
that
like real world photos in there in the game.
I think these are not real. I don't think these are real photos. I mean, they have photos, but I think that those are, my guess is that they're staged fake photos, but maybe they're real photos. That would be even creepier. I didn't even think of that.
That's what I was thinking.
But anyway, the point is like, yeah, you play as the Nazis, and you're like taking over all of Europe, and you even go and take over America later at one point in the game, and you like basically take over the world, and it's like, but you're supposed to like not think about the ramifications of that, I like that in one part in this article, the author says, I think it's towards the end, you know, if yeah, here we go. Before so this is just one segment I'm going to read. So now having a reasonable idea of how we got to this place where patriotic Americans bought a game in which they played the roles of a genocidal foreign conquerors of their country's capital, it's up to each of us to decide how we feel about it. What sorts of subject matter are appropriate for a game? Before you rush to answer, ask yourself how you would feel about, say, a version of Transport Tycoon where you have to move the Jews from the cities where they live to the concentration camps where they will die. If, as I dearly hope, you would prefer not to play such a game, ask yourself what the difference between Panzer General and that other game really are. For your actions in Panzer General will also lead to the deaths of millions, and only one more degree of remove at best. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think this is like just, I guess the bigger theme here is just like this like real drive for apolitical, this like desire to be apolitical and yet also sort of celebrate certain things in like that are highly politically charged at the same time.
Right. Do like a game on a war, but say it's not political or something.
Yeah, and yeah, I wonder, like, because is this something that happens in like movies and music? I feel like it maybe doesn't. I don't know. I have to think about that.
I mean, music's a weird one, I think, because I mean, like a lot of music is either like political or it's like the, like not talking about a supercharged topic.
Right.
Where like games do try, and like I guess movies do it a bit, where they try to have the like it's often in like action movies, I guess, of the like it's just a fun romp or something.
Yeah,
but
that's true. Action movies and also like I guess like crime shows and things like that a lot of the time, or
yeah, or like cop shows, I guess.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Which is a crime show.
Yeah. Yeah. The Crouch Mode. I'm just catching up on chat a bit here. Crouch Mode says, "Let's see what's on the news today." Huh? An old SNL sketch about Reagan. That would be really great if that was the cutscenes was just that old SNL sketch.
Yeah, I found that the thing I found the weirdest with the that Cold War thing too was, yeah, if you like scroll down into the comments, like people talking about Reagan being a badass and stuff.
Oh no!
On the video you linked.
Oh, on the video.
Not the article, the one from the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh geez.
Yeah, exactly. I it's funny because like there's all this, I feel like comments are such a good they ruin it in terms of like the plausible deniability of certain things. Because
right.
because the person making this like propaganda video or whatever, they're like trying really hard to like create this sense of plausible deniability, and then you scroll down to the comments and the commenters like do not know how to do that at all, so they're just like saying the subtext out loud. Yeah, okay, let's see what else we got here. We got a few other stories.
I was gonna say, I mean, that links really well into the, like, I kept wanting to bring up I know we've got a cyberpunk article that we were gonna get to. But I think this does touch on like a similar thing of like there definitely is a big thing, I think, in AAA games with trying to just like not say anything at all. But they do, it always is this like, you have this like really charged setting, and then but they're just like not committed to saying anything with it, which is just very strange, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it's that it's a huge business, right? And that they're trying to sort of make everyone think that they agree with them, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of what the apolitical thing is, which I kind of understand, like, even as a small indie, like, you don't necessarily always want to be like, or at least a lot of indies feel like, I don't want to come out on Twitter with all my politics because I'm going to alienate half the people who might like my games. And so that's a concept. I guess just if you're purely just thinking about how to sell games, and that might be part of it. Oh, this thing doesn't have comments. This is just ads, like pages and pages and pages of ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's part of it. But I also think that there is something else going on in video game culture. That's specific to video games, maybe. I think like TV and movies don't have that same kind of like culture war feeling that video games do. Like when video games like put, I don't know, like a woman in a game or something, it's like this big controversy. And in TV and movies, you don't get those kinds of things as much. As far as no, you do. I guess you do. It depends on the kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? It's like how adjacent their fan base is to video gamers. That you get more. And more
I
of that.
I was just thinking that too, because there was that recent, really terrible Doom movie that came out on Netflix, where it had the main character was a girl, and people were complaining about that online. And that movie was really bad, but like but it's like it's a video game movie.
Right. This is
Doom
not the
Annihilation.
Doom Annihilation. Right.
Yeah, it was that one over on the side. Or that
Gotcha.
one, yeah. Yeah, it was really, really bad. But it wasn't even like fun bad. It was like a slog to get through.
Jeez.
But yeah, but like that had the controversy, like the character was the main character was like a badass girl fighting demons or whatever.
Right. Yeah. That happens actually all the time in specific genres, like in action movies and other such things.
Right.
Now what do we want to talk about next? Do we want to talk about the Jacobin cyberpunk thing, or the next one I had was the other Cold War
I
article.
think that was just like that was like a quick one, right?
Yeah, we can do this one pretty quick. Yeah.
No, this was just funny, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Ad blocker. Okay, good. We got it. So yeah, PlayStation 5 users maybe be playing the PS4 version of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War by mistake. Because there's like some weird UI thing you have to do. So this is a weird thing, is that it downloads if you hit download all on after you get this PS5 game, it also gives you the PS4 version, and then by default, if you run it, it runs the PS4 version. And like the really funny thing that I think that is this article doesn't mention, and that plays into I think what you are going to say about this, is that I don't know if like a lot of players would even notice.
Right. That was the thing I thought was interesting, was the, it's like, or I don't know, maybe like the mythology surrounding new console generations when I was a kid and stuff. Though I think when I was a kid, it was bigger jumps.
It was.
Like an N64 to a GameCube is like a stark difference.
Or an SNES to an N64, even more stark.
Yeah, exactly. That one's the biggest from 2D to 3D. But yeah, and then it's like, I feel like as it goes on, you get these smaller jumps, and it's like, obviously not to say that the PS5 is probably like, exponentially more powerful of a machine than the PS4, but it's just like you don't really see it's such a more subtle difference, I guess, in terms of like the actual at least at the start of the generation. I don't know if it'll get crazier, but I felt that way even like PS3 to PS4, or like 360 to the new Xbox or whatever.
Yeah.
It just feels smaller and smaller, these jumps in like noticeable differences, I guess.
For sure.
Like I think the only way you'd be able to tell here probably is like frame rate or something. Like,
well, does it, when it runs the PS4 version, does it have a higher frame rate, or is it running PS4 version using all PS4 hardware? Do you know?
I don't think there is, like, they don't have a PS4 in the PS5.
Okay, so it should be running at a better frame rate then, I would think. I guess, right? I guess that's what you're saying.
So you might not even tell. Like, I mean, maybe there's like more particle effects, or like the lighting's better in subtle ways.
Steven says it runs at 60 no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, I think Call of Duty has been a 60 FPS game even on consoles.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's like, how do you even tell? Like, that's like really funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, lower res textures. So it'd be like, in motion you might not even notice.
Right.
And that's like really funny, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't have a ton to add about this, but it is interesting that it's like it's I don't know. Like, imagine being a person who bought a PS5 to play this on the PS5, and then you play it for like a month, and then you find out you were playing the PS4 version.
Right.
That's pretty amazing, and I'm pretty sure that happens, and no one will ever admit that that's happened to them.
Yeah.
So that's
And then you just gotta feel like I paid $500 for this. Like,
yeah, like basically for nothing. If this is their big game, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a neat one. Uh,
Imagine being a person who bought a PS5 at all, says Holographic Doll.
I could imagine that actually. I don't usually buy the consoles, but like, oh god, it's so expensive. But like, if it has that subscription service thing, I can imagine that. Like, just I like the idea of being able to like play a bunch of games and not be like, $60 just to try some game out kind of thing.
Right.
But I could imagine maybe buying a console. Maybe, I don't know. Especially if I was like making more money. I think
Right.
also people who have real jobs, it's like a different thing to spend $500 than it is for someone who doesn't really.
I mean, I always thought that, or this is a weird tangent maybe, but just like, I've known people who play like Hearthstone or something, or Magic
Mhm.
the Gathering, and it's like the only game they play, and they like buy a ton of cards every time the new set comes out.
Mhm.
And it's like, I was like, I can't imagine spending like $150 on Hearthstone every year.
Yeah.
But like, if it's the only game you play, I don't know, like, and you have
Yeah.
a job, like that's, I don't know. Like, I still think that's maybe a bad idea, but if that's what you get your,
I've
it's
always felt like, yeah, like there's like there's a good amount of people who like, they have jobs and they actually probably, they maybe are like making too much money. Like they actually have too much extra money
yeah,
and
they
it
just
has
want
to
to
go
buy the
somewhere.
cards.
And yeah, so, and then on the other hand, there's people who don't have enough money too, which also is a problem. Um, yeah,
Right.
just catching up on chat here a little bit. I don't want to play whatever the consensus thinks is good. That's probably wise. Uh, oh yeah. Well, so Holographic Doll says I suggest 10 years. So I've been the biggest pusher of do not buy a console on launch. Do not do that ever. Because the system is at its most expensive and its smallest library on day one, and so
Hmm.
like just like logically in terms of those things, it's best to just wait, But on the other hand, games are social. I'm learning that more and more. Like, just even if they're one player games, like a lot of how you experience them and understand them and process them and play them is through a social lens. And so if I were to right now go pick up, I don't know, like a PS3 or, even a PS4 and start getting into like some basic, PS4 hits or whatever, I just wouldn't have as many people to talk to about that as I would if I had done it back when PS4 came out or a few years ago or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's almost like entirely the social thing, I guess, which is the pressure to buy one, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's kind of weird with like, if you have like a multiplayer game or something on the console, it'll have its biggest player base at launch,
Mm-hmm.
most likely.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
definitely
that's a
acceptable to
thing for
that.
sure.
Um,
I like
yeah.
the crouch mode says, I mean, for the PS5, we also need to wait for the redesign because I'm not letting that thing into my home.
Yeah. Have you seen a picture of the PS5?
I think like just tangentially. I haven't like really looked
Yeah,
at it. Let's do
it
that.
looks like it's like an air purifier. Sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, So far, I don't hate it that much. It seems weird, but
Yeah,
it's
to
not
me it
like
just seems like a lot of like if I wanted this on my desk or my on a shelf or something, like
Mhm.
it just this design is like all like wobbly looking. Like there's a lot of like
Oh,
empty space.
is it tilting or is that just this picture I found?
Look at the other one. It shows it like
Okay,
front.
no, it's not tilting. I
Yeah,
think one picture made it look like it was like tilting over.
but it's like got this like warped design, so it
Yeah.
doesn't make like a perfect square.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't lay flat, and you can't
That's
like put
annoying.
something on top of it.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know.
but what that's been the case for consoles forever. I feel like there's
Well,
something in the design of this kind of thing that they think it's like bad if you can stack things on it because like it sort of reads as like an old VCR or something.
I mean, the PS4 I have at least is it's very, very, it's like a slanted box, so it's like
Hmm.
very flat on the sides. So I liked that.
I remember one of my most hated in terms of the console design itself was the PS3. The
Yeah,
George
or the
Foreman
original
grill
PS3.
thing. Ugh,
Yeah,
it looks
it's like
horrible.
super ugly.
Yeah, yeah. This I don't know. I feel like I don't know. This looks okay to me. I
I
can
I don't mind it.
yeah, yeah.
It is also the largest console ever made. Um,
What?
so that's
Really?
funny. Yeah. I wonder if I can find. I don't know if I'll be able to find the picture. But there's like someone had a comparison shot. It's like huge.
Wow. Interesting. I mean, it's bigger than like the original Xbox because that thing was
Yeah.
like
Oh
massive.
yeah, it's like a couple inches. That was what they had next to it. It's a couple inches
Oh,
taller than the original Xbox.
jeez. That's crazy. That's here's another like semi news story, which is the fact that the PS5
Oh,
has been completely bought up, and so
yeah, the
now there's just
flipping.
these
Yeah,
resellers reselling it for like insane amounts of money.
yeah. That's I am admittedly after everyone said it's dumb to buy one. I am admittedly looking to buy one.
Mhm.
uh, and yeah, you cannot find one right now.
Yeah,
It'll go in stock on the PlayStation website. You'll get put in a queue for like an hour, and then by the time the queue is done, it's sold out again.
yeah.
So yeah.
Steven asks, do we have a story about Crunch lined up? We do indeed.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be our next one, right?
Yeah.
So we actually have a couple, I think. Maybe we don't. I have to double check. But let's see. We've got this one. We've got. I think maybe this is the only one about Crunch. Maybe, but yeah. I guess this is the only one about Crunch. So this is an article on Jacobin about the new Cyberpunk 2077 game from CD Projekt Red, which obviously is like one of the most talked about games
Yeah.
in all of games right now. And
This is the big one.
you know, it's funny. Like, I really feel like the best thing you can do for like the popularity of a game is just never release it. Of course, there's a limit to how long you can do that for, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like people love this game right now, and then once they actually play it, it's just gonna be some fucking video game. You
Well,
know?
and you do get the backwards or like you pay for it, right? The longer it takes to make like the more hype that builds when it eventually releases, it never lives up. Like you know,
Right.
your argument is it would never live up regardless.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the longer it goes on, the more and more that becomes like objectively true. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
So okay, so this is an article about Crunch, and I mean the one thing I would just say to about this in terms of this article is that Crunch working conditions are increasingly the norm. Like I'm not like I know for a fact that Crunch has been like more or less the norm uh forever since like the beginning of the industry. Like I'm not aware of a time when oh yeah, we got the whole crunch thing like taken care of. I mean, maybe there was like an outcry about it like 5 years ago and maybe there was like a few companies that were like, "Okay, we're like not going to do crunch or something." But in general that has been the norm. It's as I understand it.
yeah. I mean, I guess yeah, increasingly the norm is maybe I would guess that crunch is like increasing as a thing. Like not that it's becoming more normal in companies, like maybe that always happened, but just the scale of it is bigger.
Hmm.
Like it's more intense crunch because games are getting like bigger and more graphically intense and stuff. You gotta like artists need to work more to create assets and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like especially with this game, it's like this huge, like so many interlocking things. That yeah, it might just be like a larger amount of people getting crunched,
Yeah, I mean the whole thing of like this arms race of increasing content every year, and has never really stopped. Like that's always kind of continued on, and at least with certain kinds of games, like the expectation for the amount of content, how big the world is, all those kinds of things had just keeps going up and up and up and up, and
Right.
the size of the teams don't necessarily go up, and the schedule of the projects don't get necessarily that much longer. So it's like, something's got to give a little bit, right? Like somewhere. And like yeah. So
Right.
the basic premise of these kinds of video games is they're always going to get bigger. They're always going to get like there's always going to be more and more content, and yet we expect them to come. I mean, we can only pay for them to be in production for so long, and like we're not going to wait 5, 6, 7, 8 years for them to be produced. And
So this one
most
was this
7
one has been
years.
in dev
That's
for
true.
7. Yeah.
That's true. Uh,
With a budget, I think in the article it says 121 million dollars was the budget so far on that one.
right. Yeah. So this article, actually, the interesting thing about this, for me, in my perspective, the interesting thing about this article was talking about cyberpunk itself. And I don't know if do you have any experience with like cyberpunk fiction at all?
Not really. I like was really late to the party on any of it, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. My main exposure to it, I watched the newer Blade Runner movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played Shadowrun with
Yeah, I mean,
friends.
I think those are both like decent examples of like, like representations, I think, of, like mainstream cyberpunk at least. Now, there's
Yeah,
some cyberpunk that's like they talk about, uh, they give some good exceptions, but a lot of cyberpunk is, the way they describe it in this article, a dystopian future in which unaccountable corporations rule over society. And yeah, they're like they're dystopias, for sure. Um, but they also have this quality of it kind of reminds me of like Star Wars. Even though Star Wars is supposed to be in the past, technically, it's like Star Wars kind of reads as a future vision, right? Like we have starships and we're exploring the
yeah,
galaxy and whatever, and yet it's this same old thing of like we're just like at war with fascists, and you know what I mean. Um,
right.
and compared to Star Trek, which is like a very different vision of a future. And I think that Cyberpunk sort of suggests like, no, we're always going to have these like corporations that completely dominate everything, and actually, it's just going to get worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse.
Well,
And
I think that's that's like it's like a warning kind of thing, right? Or that was the original intent of it, was like to warn against these kinds of
well, I think
things.
it's both. I think it is. I think it is a warning, and it's also like it does this the other thing too, especially as it like once it becomes more and more of like an established genre and like a thing, is that it just sort of makes it feel like, oh, this is just like how things, this is human nature, it starts to almost become like that kind of a statement. I feel like is that, oh, yeah, we're just always gonna
I,
have this, and that's how things are.
yeah, I guess I never thought of it like that.
But this article also makes a connection between that, which I thought was kind of interesting, between the ignoring of like, so of course CD Projekt Red, they're the guys that make The Witcher, and they're a very apolitical company, and I was
They went on record as saying, like when asked, that they said they were trying to keep this game apolitical.
right, and like,
Again.
yeah, again, like the whole purpose of like cyberpunk dystopias, I mean, what does it mean to have an apolitical dystopia even? Like what is that like that doesn't make sense because like
Right.
politics is like a negotiation of what should we do and what shouldn't we do as a society, and a dystopia is like basically like a very extreme sort of like therefore statement about what would happen if we do X, Y, and Z, or we don't do X, Y, and Z. And so like literally the whole premise of like one of these like corporate run cyberpunk, or one of the there are a number of premises behind cyberpunk. It's a genre, it has a lot of different authors and different takes, but one of the major premises is if we don't do something to like curb the power of these corporations, we're going to have this like horrible world at some point where we're just completely dominated by them. And that's a political statement,
Right. Also, yeah, holographic doll points out the
Oh yeah, the voice thing.
yeah, that
Yeah,
unfortunateness.
like just when I've been so like worried to like I've been actually ignoring this game, Cyberpunk 2077. I actually have never even I don't even think I've said the name of this game out loud in my life
It's
until
hard
this
to
show.
say.
It is hard to say.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah. Because actually like The Witcher, I've complained about The Witcher a lot. But in terms of its mechanics, like I feel like it's too open, it's too console gamey, it's too not too open, but too empty. And but my biggest complaint really about The Witcher is like it just has this really bad vibes, like politically speaking. Like it just actually this company seems like The Witcher didn't force them to deal with too much of it, but like it actually feels like this company is like I don't know, they give me really bad, they give me the heebie-jeebies. You know what I mean, like politically, like in terms of like the identities and how they represent things. And so the fact that they're going to be doing this like transhumanism sort of like cyberpunk kind of thing, I'm like mortified because they're just like I have a feeling we only know like the tip of the iceberg in terms of how awful it is. But yeah, so one of the specifics is originally they were like not going to let you do gender non-binary characters. It was just going to be male or female, and now they are letting you do, I don't know exactly the mechanics of it, but like I'm sure they're going to screw it up.
So it was like last I heard you can like do either a feminine or a masculine, or traditionally feminine or masculine body type, and you can like change you can change the voice to be more masculine or feminine as well.
Mhm.
But I guess what just came to light recently, I mean I just heard about it recently at least, is that yeah, I guess
Those are
your
tied
pronouns,
together.
what people call you, is tied to what voice you select.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah,
which
that's
is just
weird.
like
It's like the easiest thing code wise to just like
yeah.
it's like a literally like a boolean value, Hollow says it didn't just come to light. It was in pre-release
Okay.
copies that got into the wild and people called them out, and they didn't change it in the months since. I see. Yeah. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean,
So that's even worse, right?
yeah. They're like committed to
They
because
doubled down on it.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, that's part of the problem. But yeah, so they have this apolitical approach again to video games, and there's a relationship there between the apolitics of like ignoring the politics of a cyberpunk universe and creating crunch work conditions, right? Because like in both cases there's this like corporate ideology,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, let
yeah.
me see if I can find something. Someone said something that was very what's the word? Very like thesaurus-y, using words.
Oh yeah.
Oh crud, can I not find it now? I set it up. But they were basically talking about cyberpunk, and just how like the hypocrisy that you're pointing out there of like this company crunching all the employees into working these horrible hours, and it's a game about like that kind of stuff, like Like
Yeah,
the thematics, the theme of the game reflects the work conditions of the people making the game, and it's kind of like a
the same politics that they're ignoring about Cyberpunk and what Cyberpunk is trying to tell us are the same politics that stop us from being able to do anything about crunch. Um, it's like uh yeah, it's
yeah,
dramatic
dramatic
irony.
irony.
Exactly. Yeah. Um okay. Do you have any more thoughts on this before we move on?
I think we covered it.
All right.
I don't know.
So
Oh
let's
yeah. Oh, that was that's something holographic doll brings up also. I think this is true that there's no gender neutral. You have to be, which it just seems to me like if you're making a cyberpunk character creator, like I don't, that's so like hard to mess up. I feel like you have to be like
yeah.
intentionally trying to mess it up. Um, like you have to assume people are gonna want like non-binary or like and not even want like there should be non-binary stuff there. We're in cyberpunk setting, like
I think I know enough about Cyberpunk to know that like there's sort of like more and less progressive cyberpunk, and there's cyberpunk that's very much about like exploring like different like identity, and then there's cyberpunk that's just like kind of trashy action shit. um and I think my guess is that these guys are much more affiliated and like sort of attuned to the trashiest sort of like video gameiest actioniest cyberpunk, where it's like we just want neon lights around and like some robots, and you know what I mean, like
yeah.
it's
There's
basically yeah.
there's that what is it? Let me copy. Oh wait, open. Let me try to send this. There's this class or there's this meme, right? That
Opening it up, let's see. Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah, wow, cool future.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just like all the themes that they're missing out on.
And this was, I think, holographic doll posted this in the Discord, just to
Oh,
give credit where credit's due, unless you found it somewhere else.
I mean, I think I just saw it on Twitter, but
Okay.
yeah, it's been going around.
Right.
Maybe I saw it there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this kind of says it all, I think, about like what we've been saying. We should improve society somewhat is one of the bubbles.
yeah. That's the warning there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to the next story here. Which one is this? Vice story about uh open world. Oh yeah, this is the one that you actually posted about this. So
yeah.
you want to take the lead on this one?
Sure, I guess. Yeah, this is the they added that PS5 feature, or there's a new PS5 feature, I guess, where you can in any game you're playing, you can like bring up this menu. That's like outside of the game. It's not an in-game menu. And you like games like PS5 games and stuff will have programmed in like the Spider-Man game has like all the challenges or something, like the open world has a big like checklist of stuff to do, and there'll be like challenges spread out that you do to like unlock things or whatever. And yeah, here you can see it on the stream, though I'm delayed.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
gonna
you
loop it a little bit so
can
people can
just
see
instantly teleport straight to a challenge. You don't have to walk there. And this, I mean, this goes back to like this started in stuff like Skyrim and probably earlier, of just like the fast travel in open world games,
it. Mm-hmm.
where it's kind of just like straight up admitting that the world isn't worth traversing. Like they just made a big empty nothing land, and
Right.
they're just like, all right, you could just teleport around to the things because everything in between the things is pointless and nothing, I guess. Which to me is very like near to my heart, I guess, of the I'm a huge fan of adventure games, and that's like one of the things I like the most about Souls games and stuff. Is the actually designing a world that you like have to go through and stuff, and like this idea of going on a journey, going on an adventure. The inconveniences can be part of the journey, like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no. That, I think that was all very well said. Yeah. So yeah, I think actually it was Oblivion. The Oblivion was the first time I remember hearing the phrase fast travel in like a big RPG, an open world RPG. Um, in MMOs and stuff, earlier MMOs like Ultima Online, which we just had Raf Koster on. We were talking about a lot. There was originally there was if you wanted to get anywhere in the world, you just had to walk there, and it would take hours, and it would be very treacherous. Some of it would be just you walking, and some of it would be like, oh my god, there's like a wild animal, or like some other person, and I don't know if they're gonna try to kill me, or and you just have to walk and find your way and stuff. There was no teleporting of any kind, except if you had like, I think it was literally like you had to be, so there's like 8 as a magic user, there's like 8 levels, and getting to level 8 was like really, really, really hard. It would take like a long time. That was like, you're like a grandmaster wizard or whatever, and I think you need to be level 7 to like warp people around, or maybe it was like 5 or something, but it was like, and even that was like very limited. So the point is, like, you couldn't teleport around in Ultima Online at all. And then at some point, actually, one of the things that made me just like completely quit Ultima Online was that they added in every city these moon gates that go to every other city. And like the minute they did that, I was like, I was just like, that killed it for me. Like and that's, so it's interesting that like, even if your game isn't completely empty, just the ability to teleport around at will, I think changes the nature of the experience a lot.
Yeah. And I think you can look at a lot of games, like you said with the Ultima Online, like the second they added that, it like started to downhill like from there. And like I think, I mean, my experience, my main MMO I played was WoW. And I just actually recently have been playing that with some friends. And we've been playing the real, or like the active version of WoW, the current expansion or whatever, and we've been playing, they just released WoW Classic. Or well, that was like last year or something, but I just got around to trying it. And it's just like, it's crazy how different it is, where you have to like actually walk places, so there's like a lot of like I don't know, it's kind of a big deal to like do something because I have to like commit to it. And there's like monsters that can actually kill you and stuff. So in like nowadays, like we did a dungeon in WoW Classic, and it took us like an hour to get 5 people together and get to the dungeon. Like you have to walk to the dungeon, and nowadays you just pull up a little menu and you click Dungeon Finder and you click Find a Dungeon, and then like within a minute it's like, all right, you're all queued up, and then it teleports you into the dungeon with 4 strangers who you don't have to ever talk to.
Yeah. This phrase here, look at even just the headline here, makes playing open world games brutally efficient.
Yeah.
Like, is that what we wanted? Is that what? Why is that good? Like.
Yeah, there's this weird. I've kind of noticed this, like, there's some subset of video game player that like they say they don't have or like a thing I hear a lot is like, I don't have time to commit to like a big game, which is fair or whatever. But like, but it's always like accompanying like, I just want to be able to like I want an easy mode so I can just play through the game faster, like get the check mark done, but and then I can move on to the next game. And it's like a weird, to me that always felt weird.
Well, it's like the suggestion there is that the purpose of games is to consume them. But like, I get this game just check it off, right? Check the whole game off, just consume it, and move on to the next one that I can consume. It's like part
Right.
of the process of like finding out about a game, hearing the hype, being engaged in that hype storm, buying the game, bringing it home or whatever, downloading it, and then beating it, and thus consuming it and like consummating the ritual of consumption. I really feel like it's like this weird religious thing, sort of, in that it's like
Right.
how it's performed, and so as a game developer, one thing that bugs me about this too is like, so this is actually, I didn't realize until just now when we were talking about it, but this is actually part of the PS5 like UI. So if I was making a
it's built in.
PS5 game, like there would be, I don't know if, I wonder if there's like can I submit a game that doesn't have that feature?
Well, so there, I guess there's more to that menu than just. So I was like looking it up for Demon Souls, because that's a game that I haven't played it, so I don't know the specifics. But in the other Souls games, there is some teleporting, but it
Mhm.
usually comes with there's like limits to it or whatever. It's like built into the game. It's not just like a thing you could slap onto it.
Mhm.
The thing I could find for it, like the other aspect of this feature is you can pull up games also have like videos that you can
Mhm.
pull up. So like if you're like stuck on a level, you can pull up this menu and there'll be a video you can watch that shows you how to beat the level
Uh-huh.
or something. So it's like instead of pulling up a YouTube video, um,
Yeah, and
uh,
like,
yeah. So
well,
there's a lot of those for Demon Souls.
those are interesting too. I think that like there's even those videos, like imagine if I used to think about this, like imagine if like you had a button on your controller that would just like, I don't know, fill up your health to full at any point in any game, right? And it's like, yeah, don't press that button, because it'll ruin the balance, you know. But it's like right there, and that changes how it feels to play it, because like, you might press it here and
Right.
there, and even just the fact that you could press it changes the experience. And I think that that's also
Right.
true of, I think that's definitely true for being able to teleport anywhere at any point, even if you never do it. The fact that you could changes the sort of the what Raf Koster used this term, stagecraft. I think that there's some, like, that's what bugs me about video games, is like we kind of get that a lot of the value of video games is in this like feeling that they're more than just, like a bunch of like lines of code. They're like
Right.
these aesthetic experiences, right? And that's why we
Mhm.
have like all this crazy art for them, and why they have these like elaborate like stories, and they have they have a nice logo, and they have everything about it like kind of contributes to this feeling of this as being a thing, like getting this aura of being like this work, this complete thing. And so we sort of
Right.
understand that on one level, on like the marketing level, but then we don't understand that when it comes to like, well, what does it mean when we put in these windows that you can just teleport to any part of the game? Like, how does that affect the experience of playing it? And from the perspective of whoever wrote this article, and I would assume most of the developers involved, it's just like, hey, it makes it more efficient, like,
Yeah.
save time. But it's like, video games aren't designed to save time. That's not the purpose of video games.
It's like almost the exact opposite purpose of a video game.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And
Like yeah.
Marcus says to me, just play fewer games over longer time. It's like, yeah, it's fine if you
Right.
don't beat the game. It's okay if you just, let's say whatever, you have 1 hour a week. Sure, play it for 1 hour a week. Like, what's the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's something that you and I think both have a very big appreciation for, is like the spirit of the sort of adventure game, which is, I think,
Yeah.
I think it's more related to my like project idea than maybe I've been able to convince you necessarily. But like
Possibly.
I do think that they're very similar in a lot of ways, and have very similar
Yeah.
values.
Yeah, and that I think that's been my big the thing I've been stewing on for the past few months, game design wise.
Mhm.
It's like basically my only thought on game design recently has been this idea of the adventure game and how like modern video games have gotten super far away from these like ideas. Like there was, I think in like the 2010s, like there was just this like huge boom of like streamlining and making things more efficient, doing like quality of life features and
Mhm.
stuff in games, and it just like completely like it was just like snuffing out all spirit of adventure. I don't know in these
Yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
which used to be these weird, like complicated, messy things, and it's like, well, let's just, yeah, like I don't know.
Well, I
So,
mean, in my little genre, my little computer RPG genre, the way where that manifested and how that manifested a lot is that it sort of they went from being these weird, messy, exploration-y engine machines to being
mhm,
these rather linear, like just text-based, like choose your own adventure sort of very text based and linear, and then there's like maybe a combat
right.
sequences here and there, but like they're basically just like text games with maybe like a mini
Yeah,
game here and there.
like it's like a visual novel. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that text is something that I probably all games need some text, but I do think that text.
Probably.
I wonder how you think of the relationship between text, as in like lots of text, like dialogues and all this sort of stuff, and the relationship to adventure games, because I sort of feel like there's a cross, a cross current there, like adventure games want to be more systemic, and text inherently is non-systemic. It's more content or authored.
Hmm. Um. Yeah, I guess that's. I'm not sure on that, or I
Okay.
haven't thought about that at all.
All right. Well.
Because I mean, like text generally is what like people talking and like signs or like written on menus or items and stuff.
Mhm.
Or so I don't see why those like I think like you said you need those things, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Um but yeah, if like too much stuff is linked to like I know there's like the classic like what is it? Like in some of the Souls games there's the you have two dialogue options or something and it's just like a tiny little branching path of
Hmm.
like I either pick this option or the other option. So maybe you're saying like, you know, that is a very narrow
Yeah.
like to have that be text based is very limiting in how many branches you could have, right?
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is like the more like specific you get with the text, the more text there is, the more text options that there are,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
the more that the whole thing just has to be this big text, like text adventure, because the system will not be able to be as specific and deal with your text choices in such a specific way. It's going to be, like we know how systems are. They're more broad and generalized and
1 second, sorry.
nonsensy. Sure. Yeah, those are not going to be able to really I just think there's kind of a conflict there, and I've liked really good text-based games, like I talk about Planescape Torment all the time, but I it's not a systemic game. It really should have just been a digital novel, in my opinion, or a visual novel. So let's see. I think we can move on to the last
All right,
story.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I held it down. Um,
Sweet.
so okay, let's do this last story, which we had a couple extra ones, but I don't think we need to do the Elon Musk one. It's not very interesting, and I'd rather not put his name on my stream if.
You just said it, man.
Yeah, it's true.
You could have said nothing.
I should have said
I was
M
my
asterisk SK.
my one comment on that was that I thought was funny. It was just like this is almost like a point against video games.
Yeah. Oh, that was my
Like
comment too.
okay, it was like Elon to give I guess the stream context. It was Elon Musk saying that because he or because he loved video games, it inspired him to program, and that led him to becoming successful or whatever.
So on the other hand, though, I agree with that. That is like definitely a damning thing for video games. But on the other hand, how many other Elon Musks are there out there who right now are just like making video games instead of like becoming the supervillain that Elon Musk almost certainly will become?
Maybe that's like CD Projekt Red is like a house containing supervillains.
Exactly.
Like it's like a lesser evil.
Yeah. It's keeping them busy making these like pointless things that don't affect anything. All right, so let's talk about this last thing. It's a study that was done. I have the link to the actual study, I think, somewheres. Yeah, right here. Copy, bloop. There was actually one part of the study I did want to go into, but get out of my face, CNN.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually look at the study. I just read the article.
Yeah, I mean, the article is, it gives you the basic gist of it, but there's one thing that I thought was interesting in the study itself. So the idea here is video games make you happier. Now, the funny thing about this is that the only two games that they used in the study are Animal Crossing New Horizons and Plants vs. Zombies, which, especially for someone like myself, I'm like, well, okay, you just picked like the, some of the least toxic, at least bad feels kind of games out there, right? Like, right. It almost seems like you used games like, but after reading the actual research, it's not as dumb as it sounds. Because they were sort of responding to let me just pull that up real quick. Let's see. So far, a lot of research has been about a lot of this kind of research is about aggression in games, and and so they're just trying to measure. They specifically had a couple of data points. Where is it? There was these charts. Yeah, so the cool thing about this study was that they actually got they like secretly got the play data of these players, I think. So like they got they told these players like, hey, we're just doing like a happiness well-being study, so just tell us how you're feeling. I don't know the specific questions, they're in the study. We can link it, but that kind of thing. Oh yeah, here we go, it says it right on the screen. We assess well-being with the validated scale of positive and negative experiences, which measures the affective dimension of well-being. We asked respondents to think about how they've been feeling in the past 2 weeks and report how often they experience each of 6 positive and 6 negative feelings. Respondents could indicate the frequency of experiencing those feelings on a scale from 1 to 7. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so not like, not the most hard science of all time or anything, but
it's a little weak.
It is, but you have a lot of people. I think there was like 500 to...
Well, they had like 500 for Plants vs. Zombies and over 2,000 for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, so it's like, and the thing is like there is like a pretty clear trend line too, like especially with this player well-being chart here. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm forgetting why specifically they picked these two games. There was a reason. If you read through they
actually mention it.
They do mention it. They justify it because otherwise it's like, well, why didn't you test like League of Legends, right? Like that would be that's what I want to know. Like how does
or right. As Herbivore says, CS:GO.
But I think what they're trying to measure is, can any video games make you happier? Because actually that's a pretty valid question. Like maybe like let's take the happiest video games in the whole universe.
Oh yeah.
Do even those make you happier? Because like that's we don't even know that, honestly, right?
we can't verify it.
And so this at least creates some indication that there's some correlation there. On the other hand, there's also like I don't know if they talked about this in the study. I did not read the whole study. It's pretty long. But something I would think about is like, well, do players just play more games when they are happy though? Like it's a reverse causality kind of thing.
Reverse. Well, yeah, and the happier people have more free time to spend playing games or something.
Well, I think they're the same people over the study, I assume, right? That they're tracking. They don't introduce new people, but yeah, it's like they have better and worse days. You know, some days they're feeling better and they're like, "Hey, I want to play a video game. I feel good." And then some days they're like feeling bad and they don't want to play a video game. Although I don't know, that doesn't necessarily map to how I understand how people play video games. I think people play video
Yeah,
games when they're
because
playing
it
feeling
depends.
miserable and vice versa. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what's the chat is saying. Uh,
The big thing that was brought up is that the Plants vs Zombies game that they studied is not the original Plants vs Zombies. It's a Garden Warfare, which is a third-person shooter.
what?
A team-based one, like online against other people.
Battle for Neighborville, right? Is the one?
Oh, maybe it's that. Sorry, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Garden Warfare was the first one or something.
Let's take a look.
But yeah, it should be. Pretty sure it's a.
Oh, it's like their
shooter.
their Fortnite or whatever.
Or like their Splatoon or something.
Okay,
I guess.
I see. I see. Huh.
Oh, and it's not a battle royale as far as I know, though maybe this
Okay.
one is.
Hmm.
But yeah, it is actually like a competitive team shooter, so that
Okay.
has some bearing on this because my first thought was like, yeah, like playing a competitive game. I've generally linked playing competitive games with being like in a worse mood for that day. Right.
That is the meme for sure. Like that is definitely
Yeah.
what people say.
Depending on if I'm winning or losing, I guess.
Yeah, that might be a factor for sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think I have any more thoughts on this one. You know, I tend to get unhappy when I play games but that's for very specific reasons that would not be affecting other
Yeah.
people, I don't think.
Those are Keith reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
If you did a Keith chart here, it's just like maxed out negative emotions whenever you play the game.
Pretty much. Although, you know what's funny is that everyone reports that with League of Legends, and for me, League of Legends is just like I just have a blast. I really enjoy it the whole time.
Yeah, you're pretty immune to it.
Yeah, the certain kinds of way I understand how it's bad and rough, and I don't think it's like a good game or anything, but it's you know the
Mhm.
things about it don't bug me that much. Maybe that's partially because I'm just used to it. I've been playing it a long time. Um, but whereas when I play a new game, I'm like it's like asking me to accept the ways in which it's bad for the first time, and I'm like my whole body is rejecting it.
Right.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's pretty much all we had for today. Any more thoughts before
Yeah.
we
Does the chat feel more educated on the current state of
Yeah,
games news?
they are experts now on news. They know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
think we hit up some of the big stories. Like we got some stuff.
yeah, no, I thought these were actually kind of interesting. Especially like yeah, the big one for me was the adventure games one. I
Hmm.
have a tweet that took off a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I think it was actually because you retweeted it and then it took off.
Right. That
Um,
they call that the Burgun bump.
yeah, I got the classic Burgun bump. Uh,
Very
but
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
That was the tweet that was about the Spider-Man whatever.
yeah. I said something along the lines of they cut out the journey, or like we're told that it's the journey, not the destination, that matters. And then we made a whole bunch of games that are just the destination.
Yeah.
Like, and there is no journey at all. It's just destinations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of an interesting thing, I think, that, or like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting way to think about it, and maybe not a way that current game developers are thinking about making these big open world adventure games.
Yeah.
Is that they're making like a big field with a lot of points of interest on it,
Mm-hmm.
but like they aren't thinking about the the how do we get from point A to point B is just we'll teleport. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
or we'll give you like a horse, and you could just move over it super fast and just get through it as
Right.
fast as possible and not interact with anything on the way
Right.
there.
and that's the thing too. I think you mentioned something like you could choose to play Skyrim and not fast travel.
mhm,
But I think it still sucks, right? Because they
yeah,
designed the game with fast travel in mind. So like there's
exactly.
still nothing when you travel.
You're just punishing yourself in that, and what sucks
Yeah.
about that is that it's sort of like it reestablishes in people's minds that like the only options are either you walk through a boring long thing like landscape where you can't do anything, or you have fast travel. And if those are the options, then yeah, give me fast travel, I guess.
Right.
But like those don't have to be the options.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think smaller, denser worlds are a good first step there.
Yeah, the one town game. I'm gonna at some point I'm
Yeah.
gonna make an RPG, and I'm just gonna for the first year I'm just gonna be working on one town
Yeah,
and
I
make
think
this.
that's an amazing idea, honestly.
Yeah. I'm pumped for that. All right. Well, that's about all that I had planned for today. I know we could play what's that game? The Streets of Rogue. I was considering playing that. But you would have a lag, I guess. I need to like screen share or something.
Yeah, I actually I don't think I have time
Okay.
to play a game, but I do think you would be interested in that one because it's got some elements of emergence and like things that can happen.
All right. Hollow just yelled at me and told me to play Yakuza, so I will play that instead.
Okay.
That's been on the list longer. But thank you so much, No More Birds, for coming by. I will let you go.
Yeah, it's fun
And
to come on.
yes. I don't know that I'm gonna do these news things like all the time, but like maybe once a month or so. And
Just when the discourse doesn't have a episode that week.
I guess so. Yeah, well. If I knew in advance, that would be a kind of cool thing to plan around. But thanks so much, No More Birds, for coming on.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
All right, see ya.
Goodbye.
All right, that was No More Birds, everybody. So I am going to now play what's it called? Yakuza. And do I have that on Steam? I think I do. Let's check. I can also play Oro, the new beta version of Oro. I hear really good things about. Yes, I do have Yakuza. All right, am I ready for this? I think I'm ready for this. Wow, look at that. Just one click and I'm in. I do need to open up my stream chat, though. Oro is also fine. Nope, too late. You yelled at me. Now I'm doing it. It's you. We're Yakuza-ing. J'accuse. Oh man, the audio is gonna be so loud. I'd fix that too. Use a gamepad? Ugh, God. I don't have my controller plugged in. Fuck it. I'm just gonna use it, not a gamepad. I hate video game controllers. Boobs. Guns. Money. Naked guy in the shower. I mostly hate controllers because I have a shitty PS2 controller. It's weird. This is 80s Japan, but this music doesn't sound very 80s. A little more 80s now with the harmonized thirds and the guitar solo. A little more. But this is just not a very 80s production. Hell yeah. I like this music though. It got good. No, don't abandon your theme already. That was good. How do you control a PS2 controller into a PC? I'll show you. Or will I? I got one of these daddies. These mean bean machines. Blam! Oh yeah. It's got USB on one side. It's got 2 PS2 ports on the other side. Hell yeah. That's all you need. Let's see if I can plug it in. I don't think this will work, but I'm going to try plugging it in. Crash my whole computer! Just buy a 360 controller? Ugh. Is there a good controller? Did anyone make a good controller? Ever? Hey, it works. Alright. Let's see. Obviously going to the settings first. Oh, I pressed back. What the hell is the go button? What? Oh. Triangle is go. Since when? Why would ever the top button be go? See, this is why I fucking hate controllers. There's just always like a different button that's go. Alright, I'll press triangle to... We'll play on normal. I do not have weird mappings, and I resent the insinuation. Why is this not full screen, also? Hold on. Ugh, I can't fix it. Never mind. You should have a nice little white bar on top there. You don't need to troubleshoot it for me, Hollow. I know how to map the buttons on a controller. Jeez Louise. I think I need to map it in the game, actually. It's standards? Okay. Maybe I will get one of those then. In fact, actually, I might actually even have a 360 controller somewhere. Oh, I like the not English voice acting. That's a huge plus. English voice acting in video games is one of my pet peeves. Okay. Is this one of these kind of games? I like the text for the subtitles. I don't know why. I like that it's not one of the fonts. The normal fonts. So I actually was alive in 1988, so I'm gonna be able to tell if this is, you know. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be feeling in this sequence here. It's a PS2 Potato Man. Blake says that all characters in video games look like they have potato skin. Oh, he didn't kill that guy. I thought he was going to kill that guy. Says a lot about a video game character who doesn't kill someone when they have the opportunity. I guess he was in a busy, crowded street. Probably couldn't have killed him and got away with it.
Yo.
Ooh, I like the not talking. That's way better. Like, I like that they're not doing like lip flapping shit and they just show a picture. So much better. That's cool. It's crazy how that just like improves the experience so much.
いや、それは鳥藩が常識のこのご時世、安い取り分でやってもらってんだ。普通なら本職の人にこんな安い額の取り立て頼めないからね。でも同年代のガキどもが万冊ちらつかせて
Demo means but, not still.
本
But
職の君が
it's
金
okay.
もないんじゃ様になんねえだろ。ま、これは俺との初仕事を終えたご祝儀みたいなもんだ。
It's possible these translators know Japanese better than me. Possible, I guess.
ありがとうございます。
Theoretically.
しかしバカに金貸しちまうと後が面倒でしょうがねえな。30万ポッチしてんのは簡単だが
Definitely not
回
better.
収しとかねえと商売としてのけじめがつかね
What's the difference between a localization and a translation?
え。まあ
I'm not familiar with this.
俺も長いことこの町で金貸しやってるからよくわかる。今の世の中、金の本当の価値が分かってるやつなんてほとんどいやしない。その点、学のない君の方が高学歴の若造より
Oh,
よっぽど
okay.
分かってる気がするんだけど。そうじゃない
No one does that though. The translation thing. That's like,
それじゃ
right? I guess probably some people do that.
なあ、
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's what translation is either.
兄ちゃん。君の腕っぷしならヤクザやるよりもっと簡単にもっと多くの金が稼げる。いい飯腹いっぱい食っていい女を好きなだけ抱ける。それだけじゃない。金さえあれば不幸な人間を幸せにすることすらできる。ヤクザは下積みが長え。手っ取り早くのし上がるにはうちに来て稼ぐってのもいい選択だと思うんだが。3年前にその言葉を聞いてればそうしてたかもしれませんけど、一度極道になったもんは時間を巻き戻せない。それが答えか。ヤクザには誰かを幸せにすることなんてできないんすかね。さあな。俺はヤクザになったことねえからわからねえ。ま、気が変わったらいつでも連絡してくれ。
What a nice loan shark. You should wipe the blood off your face. Press X to wipe the blood off your face. Uh-oh. The song is back. It has that one part I like. Oh, okay. Boobs. Wait, is this just the same intro as before? Do I have to watch this a second time? Or it's just like they use some footage again, but not all of it. Kind of weird. I see, I see. Hey, he wiped the blood off his face. I hope we get to the part that I like in this song. We're almost there. This part's kind of generic, but then this is the best part. Yeah, right there. Ba da ba ba ba. It's actually not that good, but it's the best part. And then they go into this part, which is like, come on. You can't just throw da 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 over every song. That's 175, by the way. Cool. I think that's a good intro, though. Like, that's good. That's kind of setting the tone of, like, the game and what it's all about. There's something about the tone of this generally that actually is pretty appealing. It's, like, got this weird... It's, like, not that obnoxious, actually. Now, part of that might be, like, this sort of anime kind of aesthetic. Not anime in terms of the art, but, like, the music and... the way the dialogue's written and stuff. I have to go set the keys ASAP. Okay. Escape. Settings. Yes, here we go. Okay. So okay should be like... Oh yeah, I'm just gonna match the colors. Oh, this is weird. Maybe my controller is mapped weird. But anyway, I'm just gonna... Yeah, that'll be better. The rest of these should be okay, I think. Yeah. We'll find out. Okay, this feels good now. Alright. I gotta turn on the analog feature. Do people know about this? That these old controllers, there's actually a button you have to press to turn on the analog. And if that's not on, then you can only use the D-pad. I go in here. Can I change the camera? LR. Ah, there we go. That's how you change the camera. It's kind of weird that the right stick doesn't... Oh, wait. What the hell? Oh, my God. Okay, I gotta fix that. I'm quite certain that I never mapped the X-axis for this stick to the Y-axis in the system settings. I'm pretty sure I would never do that. So I think that this is something about this game. Hopefully I can do that from here. Might not be able to. Oh. Yeah, I guess I can do it from here. Camera up. See? What the hell? Dude, controllers are so much fun, and they're so great. That's why I love them so much. Okay. What the fuck? Move down, down. Move up, up. The fuck? Move left, left. Move right, right. Move right. What the hell? What a nightmare. Camera up, up. Did that work? I don't even know. It didn't make a sound. Camera down, down. And it goes to the right, okay. Camera left, left. No feedback now. Just take it on faith that it worked. Right? I guess that's because it's the same. I don't know. Okay. We're gonna go back now. Like, the thing with the controller is I already have a fucking mouse and keyboard in front of me. Why can't I use those? Okay. Does it now work? Normal? No, it's still all fucked up. Can I play with the mouse and keyboard? Oh my god, that's so much better. Holy shit. Except you can't walk. Oh, there we go. Ah, this is all fucked up too. The fuck? Everything's fucked. I'm gonna set it back to, default because it's just so fucked up. You know what? Actually, maybe it's messed up because the controller. Yeah, maybe it's because I... Like, let me set the defaults again, and then... remap. Restore defaults. Okay, I guess that... Like, this game is not very good at, like, telling you that you actually did the thing. But okay, I'll try unplugging and replugging it, maybe? Alright, does it? No, it's still fucked up. Like, down is right and left. Yeah, it's backwards. Very weird. Unplug it. Oh, we're fucking with the camera. Oh, okay, you're right. Good call. So now we can just use mouse and keyboard. Ah, okay, there we go. Now it actually works like a normal game. Cool. Whew. Controllers, man. Alright, so I can't... Invisible wall here. Can't go into the road. I wish there was something in between this run speed and this walk speed. Because this walk speed's too slow. But when I run, everyone's like scared of me. Can I ride this motorcycle? Can I talk to this guy? Hi. How's it going? Cool clap sound effect. Go in there. No, can't do that. Oh.
ほら、早く金貸せって。後で返すっつってんだろうが。え？困ります。勘弁してください。ごちゃごちゃうるせえんだよ。いいからさっさと出せ。誰か助けて。
Oh, it actually tells you the button to press. That's good. Hey, you guys.
なんだよ。見てんじゃねえぞ俺。おい、ヤクザじゃねえのか、そいつ。バカ。ヤクザったって年も大して俺らと変わんねえ。どうせ下っ端だろ。お前らこの町に来んのは初めてか。え？だったらなんだよ。ここらはうちの組の島なんだな。カムロ町を歩き慣れている連中ならこの辺りでバカはしねえ。なんだと？ヤクザが偉そうに説教垂れてんじゃねえぞ。
I think this game needs my gaming pillow chair. Oh God, street hooligans. Never mind. Rush combos. Press left click repeatedly. Okay, I can do that. I'm pressing left click so many times. They're very polite. Only fighting me one at a time. Press right click during a combo to perform a finishing blow that knocks him down. Okay. Hey, come on. Whoa! That was cool. Oh, I like that. I love the little charge up fist thing. That's very satisfying. Did I die? Oh. Oh, wow. It has like a weird old school tap the button thing. Health gauge. Yellow is your health. The yellow part's fully depleted. Keep an eye on your health. If the gauge flashes red, it means you're in very bad shape. Should replenish your health. Use a recover element or eat something in eatery. Grab the enemy. Oh God, it's happening in the background. No, it's not. Q. Okay, okay, alright, run away. Reposition. The most satisfying thing is that takedown thing. Wipe these smirks off the opponent's faces. If you get hit, you can strike back right away using right click, left click, or Q. You can gain money by knocking down or defeating enemies. I like how like this is just like River City Ransom or something. Oh. That's the combat in this is like weirdly satisfying. I think it's, you know why it is? It's because they get knocked back. There's bumping. Add bumping to every game. Streets of Kamurocho? I don't know.
おお相変わらず容赦ねえな。
錦
Not
おめえい
Nishiki.
つまで経っても来ねえから待ち
Nope,
合わせ
damn, you
すっ
missed
ぽかさ
it.
れたかと思ったよ。
Sad. They have Streets of Rage Girls version of Streets of Rage on
おめ
Xbox.
えがなかなか来ねえからこうやって時間潰してたんじゃねえか。
暇つぶしに喧嘩っておとなしくヘルスにでも行けってろ。ガキじゃあるめえし。
興味ね
相変わらず硬いね。まあいいや。とりあえず飲みに行こうぜ。久々にオールで付き合えよ。な。
ありがとうございました。
は？
いや、この度はどうも。お日柄もよく。
行くぞ錦。
しかしよ、お前も様になってきたよな。もう一発のヤクザだ。今日の取り立てももう済ませたんだろ。
まあな。
これで風間のおやっさんも少し安心する
A lot of cutscenes in this for me so far, but that sometimes changes later
第
on.
二コールの取り柄は喧嘩の腕っぷしだけだ。お前みたいに器用じゃねえからな。
Like a Dragon actually changed the combat to be Final Fantasy Tactics. What? Why didn't you have me play that one?
楽しまなきゃ損だろう。
That's what I like.
風間のおやっさんが無所から出てくるのは年明けてから。
This beat 'em up system? Okay.
それ
I mean, as far as beat 'em up systems goes, this seems pretty good. Oh, it's $60? Ugh.
なら、まずそのみすぼらしいなりから変えてみな。
My favorite thing about cutscenes is like not really paying attention
お
to
前も
them
たまには50万の
as a
ステージでも来てみろよ。
slight sign of disrespect
そう
towards
すりゃ
them.
世の中の見え方もちった変わる。
俺は服なんかどうでもいい。風間のおやっさんだっていつも地味な服着てんだろ。
Yeah, I saw the ads for that actually. I look cool. If it's like Final Fantasy Tactics style, I don't know. I could see myself getting that. Maybe I'll get that on the Switch. I think it's on Switch. Maybe I'm wrong.
お前が最近車
I thought I saw it for Switch though.
家のためか。
このこじゃれたライターも俺んだ。そろそろ返せよ。
見え張りてんならケチケチすんな。
お前も本当は分かってんだろ。人は車のエンブレムと着ている服のブランド、そしてこの堂島組の大門を見て素直に言うことを聞く。ヤク
Hexes.
ザは見え張ってなんぼだ
This
ぜ。
game has hexes, you didn't tell me.
そんなもんか。
そんなもんさ。仇のくせしてアコギな商売するやつに借りた金で遊び
Oh,
に
not
行
on the
ける
Switch?
バカ
Oh well.
この町の連中に人の内面なんて見抜けやしねえ。奴らにとっちゃ外見が全てだ。
ち、わかったもういい。それより飲みに行くんじゃなかったのか。
おお、そうだったな。よし、たまにはピンク通りにでも行くか。あの辺りにいい店があるんだ。
Whoa, that person just phased out of existence. Everyone see that? My god.
行くぞ。
I don't know if I like this guy. I want to make a new friend who's a different friend. Are there nice people in this game?
おい、桐生。おい、そんなに急ぐな。
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm walking the same speed as you. There's the super... Are there cars?
この辺りの店、ちゃんと出入りしてるか？当たり外れも含めて何でも知っとかねえとな。
It's weird that there's no cars on all these roads. Ooh, I like that there's a mini map. That's a good sign.
金は使いようで売買にもなる。で、
F to... Oh, you have to hold F
街で遊んでアンテ
to
ナ
follow him. Interesting.
この街でしのぐってのはそういうことさ。可愛い女子大生がよりどりみどりと言われ、ついていったらバーバーばっかり。5000円ポッキリのはずがぼったくられる。そういうのも全部勉強だと思えばいい。つうか、そう思わねえとやってられねえだろう。なんだよ。今のは物の例えであって、別に俺が実際に体験したってわけじゃ。まあとにかく今日は俺のおごりだ。おめえもたまに
Want me to hang out with a bunch of great people? That's true. Maybe that can be like his arc though, is that he like finds a cool person to hang out with. Watch out, there's 3 people chasing us. They look suspicious. One of them has a unidentified bag. Could be full of explosives. Oh, it is his arc. Oh, good. What is this? A fight? I'll do the voice acting now. Looks like it. That's what it would sound like if it was... It's so weird how much better it is when there isn't voice acting. I actually think maybe the best thing to do is what a lot of games do, where they start it off with voice acting, and then for the rest of the game it's all not voice acted, because you get that like binocular effect. Where you like kind of hear their voice, like you have a sense of what their voice is like, but then you maintain an orphanage for multiple hours of gameplay. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. Sober them up with my fists. It's funny because, like, if all I do is, like, fight and stuff in this game, like, I might as well just play River City Ransom, right? Heat gauge, okay. 3 blue glowing bars on a heat gauge. Heat gauge starts at the first bar. Okay. Oh, I did the same guy twice. Poor guy. To take a fighting stance using underscore? No, that must be spacebar. Movement with W will center around the enemy. Oh, right, okay. Locking on. Oh no, W. Use spacebar and W. Oh, I see. I did it. Okay, yeah, I expected the camera to lock on with the thing. What was I doing here? And who are you? I like that it actually sobered them up. I'll walk you to the train. This is the first likable part in this game. I like this a lot. That it actually sobered them up. If the whole game is like that kind of silly shit, that's like nonsense heartwarming, that's pretty cool. Completion points. I don't know about CP as the resource, but okay, that's fine. Oh, I like this illustration. Oh, I have to press F. Work off some alcohol. Helped a couple of guys. This is good. Goofy nonsense and gritty crime plot. Okay.
Yeah.
So how non-linear is this game? Within this town. I understand it's all in one town, right? That's why you brought it up. But like, right now I'm like pretty much on rails. I assume it opens up a little more than that for sure later. But I'm curious how. There's always a main quest.
Hey. What?
So this is the upgrade guy.
No.
Use the mouse? Oh, I can. I don't know why these kind of screens depress me these days. It's like, I have to decide whether I want more attack damage or more health. Can't you just automate that for me? I'm sure that, whatever. I don't know, man. Yes? No? What happened? Where did I go? Can I do anything on this screen? Seems like I can't do anything. But it's nice to know that it's here. Okay. What happened? Oh, you click it and then you put money into it. Whoa. You're like... Oh, I see. That's weird. What even ability did I get? Your heat gauge will slowly rise over time when you're wounded. It will only fill up to the second bar. Okay. I got more monies. Let's get some more health here. Oh. Doesn't work. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll go back then. I didn't realize I could be skipping this dialogue, making it go faster. The no maps on the side. Okay, good. Sometimes they come back when you're like, oh shit, someone's in trouble, gotta rush, yeah.
Yakuza.
I like the environments. They're very... They're like kind of realistic, but also like they have a lot of like flavor, I guess, to them. And it's also like just not a generic video game setting, which I appreciate. I feel like this is what they wanted Vampire the Masquerade to look like. A little bit.
たく相変わらず品のねえ街だよな。
だから人が集まってくるんじゃねえのか。最近のそいつらが酒やら女やら欲しがって集まる場所なんだ。
なんだ不器用なりに一応
見直し。
錦山くん。
よ
なんだあいつら。
現役女子大生ホステスのまどかちゃんとゆいちゃんだ。
あ
What?
ねえ、ポケベル鳴らしてるんだから電話してよ。今度いつお店来てくれるの？
今日後で顔出すよ。
本当に？
なんだよ、俺の言うこと疑ってる？
信じたいけどな。
そんなこと言うなよ。ほら、お小遣いだ。
やったー！信じてるよ。
女ってのは器用なもんだね。
ありがとう。じゃあまた後でね。待ってるよ、錦山くん。
いつの間にか大した顔じゃねえ。
The main problematic thing I have with Yakuza is that it glosses over how bad hostessing can be. I'm not sure I follow that. Like you only ever interact with respectable clubs? Oh, I see, in terms of like, yeah, it's just like extremely exploited. Exploitative work.
だから兄貴たちと飲むときいろんな女連れてくとそれだけ
Trafficking, yeah.
俺の国での覚えもめでたくなる。どうせ極道やるならどんな手使ってものし上がらなきゃ意味がねえ。違うか？
なるほど。そうかもしんね
えな。さあ店はここだ。今夜はとことん付き合ってもらうからな。
Can you do karaoke in this game? I don't know what the fuck that question
お
means.
前
Like, I want to sing karaoke as this guy in the game.
これで2度目だけどなんでだ
ボトルキープなんかしてるからよ。常連なのかと思ってな。
ちまちまビール飲むより見栄えがいいだろう。店のもんに顔も売れる。俺は安く見られるのはごめんなんだな。
なるほど。お前は偉いよ。
I might have seen somewhere that you can do karaoke in this game, and that's why I
お
asked
めえ
that
も
question.
この世界でのし上がりたきゃ少しは見習えよ。つってもおめえはそういうタイプじゃねえってことか。
俺はおやっさんの背中を追いかけてこの世界に入った。孤児だった俺ら拾ってくれたあの人のために。てめえの体張るくらいしか脳がね
え。いや、もしかしたらおめえは今のままでいいのかもな。
ん？
おめえが下で頑張って風間のおやっさんが出世すりゃおめえにも出世の芽が出てくるかもしれない。そういうのし上がり方もあるさ。ただおめえは風間のおやっさんの子じゃない。堂島組の組員なんだ。おやっさん、なんで俺らのこと風間組に入れてくれなかったんだろうな。そりゃ堂島組の方が格は上だけどさ。
よせよ。おやっさんに考えがあってのことだ。
まあそうだな。よし、真面目な話はもうやめだ。カラオケでもしてパーッと騒ごうぜ。
There it is.
なあ。
How did I know? I guess the TV cued me.
今日はとことん付き合うぜ。
I like that they make the insides of the mouths dark in this game. In a lot of video games, like the inside of the mouth is like they have like a light bulb in their mouth. So you can like it looks really weird. Rhythm game. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, this doesn't help me. So are these original songs? Because I would love that if that was true. Let's do this one. This is amazing. I like that he's clapping to the beat. Sort of. Do I have to use the controller? What the fuck? Oh, I see. Okay. I have to use the arrow keys. Oh, that's a hold. Okay. Getting it. Got it. This is actually weirdly hard. I'm just not used to associating these colors with the arrow keys. That's not enough warning. Shit. My friend's gonna be so disappointed in me. I love the music video in the background. That's the other thing, is I'm getting very distracted because I want to see this. Because it's me and my friend in the 80s band. How am I supposed to do the rhythm game and look at that? I just want to watch this video. What is this duck? Original songs? Yeah. Very good. This is great. Yeah, I did not do a good job.
知らなかったぜ。おめえがあんなにカラオケ好きだったとはよ。バカ。そらお前がハメ外そうとか言うから。
Karaoke bozo.
仕方なく付き合ってやっただけで。嘘つけ。その割にはノリノリだったじゃねえか。普段から隠れて練習してるんだろなあ。よせよ。そんなわけねえだろ。それにしても思いっきり歌ったら腹減ったな。締めにラーメンでも言っとくか。まだ食うつもりか。俺はそんなに腹減ってねえよ。まあいいじゃねえか。付き合えよ。天国圏でどうだ。しょうがねえな。わかったよ。
Yeah, just in general, this has like a lot more of a the basic like tone of it. He's a lot more like it's me and my friend hanging out, and we're like going to get some food, and you know, doing karaoke, and I mean we're beating people up and stuff, but what is this? There's like an alcohol sign. Yeah, but like the punks trying to jump me like reads as just like video game-ness, like they're very upfront about it, you know? And so I'm okay with that, I think.
8匹でコンサート行ってたりしてお互い想像したくねえ姿だな。おい、なんだよ。全然食ってねえじゃんか。だからもう食えねえって言ったろ。大盛りなんか頼みやがって。情けねえこと言うなよ。
Extra large.
それでも男が。
昨夜11時頃、カムロ町の一角で発見された若い男性の変死体は激しい暴行を受けており、警視庁では殺人事件とみて付近を捜査中です。ただいま続報が入りました。若い男性の身元が判明したとのことです。死体で発見された男性は都内在住の会社員栗原太一さん32歳。警視庁の調べでは栗原さんは金融業者数社から借金を抱えていたとみられ、今後関係者から事情を聞く方針です。
おい、桐生。ん？カムロ町で殺したと。よくある話だろうが。いや。
Nice smoke effects.
夕べの取り立て、相手のこと結構痛めつけたって言ってたよな。
こちらが栗原さんの死体が発見された現場です。
ここって、は？俺が取り立てした場所だ。おいおい、お前マジか。いや、死ぬまで殴ったわけじゃねえはずだ。
この場所はカムロ町で人がごった返すネオン街からわずかに裏道を入った先にあります。ビルとビルに囲まれて人目につきにくい、かなりいびつな空間という印象を受けますが、栗原さんの死体はこのわずかに残る更地に倒れていたとのことです。
こいつ。やめてくれ。俺が取り立てたやつだ。お前、本当に間違いねえのか。はあ、何やってんだよ。 しまうなんてよ。
Yeah, this is Yakuza 0. I probably should have put that in the description, but
組か。ああ、早速呼び出した。事務所に電話してくる。やっぱり今のニュースの件で呼び出されてんだよな、お前。まずいことになったな。いや、お前ももちろんやべえけど、これで風間のやつ。
one problem I have with a lot of video games is like, can I save this game now and stop playing? Or do I have, like, am I gonna have to sit through a bunch of cutscenes again? I feel like there's so many cutscenes in the beginnings of these games that it's like you have to just, like, you're stuck until you're released from the cutscenes.
親さんは関係ねえ。そうはいかねえよ。殺しとなるとことがでかい。多分親さんの後釜に座ろうって連中は間違いなくそこをついてくる。
Oh, to save points, huh?
堂島組若頭
Wow. So if I just quit now, I just have to completely start all over from the beginning?
そもそも半年前。
That's pretty,
親さんが殺にパクられたのもその3人
pretty retro.
なんだそれは。親さんの仕切ってた鳥羽。周到に場所変えてたのにいきなり摘発食らったろ。ありゃ組の事情に詳しいもんが殺にチクったとしか思えねえ。でそれが誰かっていや、3人の若頭補佐の一人。クゼの兄貴だったって噂だ。クゼの兄貴が親さんを殺に撃ったってことか。もちろん証拠があるわけじゃない。でもよ、その件で親さんが無所に行ってからクゼはえらい勢いついてる。火のないとこになんとやらだ。何しろ今は組に連絡するしかねえ。だろう。そうか。そうだな。分かった。俺はとりあえず知恵貸してくれる人を探してみる。すまね。
I really think every single game should have, like, save and quit at any moment. I feel like that's, like, there should be, like, a law passed that says that every game should have that. Unless it's, like, the whole match is 5 minutes long. Or something like that. That's fine. But... Payphone. That sounds good. Speak of the devil. Found one. Just say the opposite of Keith in chat, but you should never have save points. You should just have to play the whole game in one sitting. Or else... Well, save and quit isn't the same thing as save scumming, if that's what you're worried about. Right? Because, like, you can't save and keep playing. It's just save and quit. That's what I'm saying. Basically, like, suspend. I don't see any good argument that you shouldn't allow a player to just suspend their play, literally pause it in time, and leave. Why would that be bad? I do agree there's downsides to, you know, just save. And quick save, quick load. Wait, no, you can't... If you have save and quit, you can't save scum. You save and quit and then just restart? What? When you rejoin a game, it deletes your old game. Yeah. Yeah, no, save and quit. I think Crouch Mode doesn't know what I'm talking about. You just have to restart the entire game. Yeah, I mean, that's not save scumming, though. Save scumming is like, you know, you can basically rewind a short amount. But if you have save and quit, you can't do that because, you know, it, as EY Priest says. So wait, that was a payphone. Can't I save now? Oh, I probably have to. Ah, there we go. All right, it worked. I did it. I saved the game. So I think I need to get a wiggle on, which is to say, stop playing now. But this actually does seem pretty cool. Like, I don't, you know, I'm not full of hatred for this game so far, which is saying a lot. Hooligans? How? Why? Well, I'll just beat up some hooligans just for fun. Boom. I promise not to do it again. That's so River City Ransom style. Not full of hate is a glowing video game review. Hard saves and soft saves and auto saves. Right, yeah, so like auto saves you can rewind. Like a save file where you hit like escape and you go to save and then you keep playing. That allows you to rewind if things don't go the way you want. But save and exit means, so if it deletes your save when you start playing, you just ruin everyone's life whenever the game crashes. It just deletes that save though. You would still have your previous save? Or wait, no. It doesn't ruin everyone's life when the game crashes. I'm pretty sure that this has been done in normal big video games. Like these. That you can have suspend as an option. Right, you have multiple save modes. But yeah, cool game. And also, yeah, big games like this don't even crash anyway, so... I mean, they have horrible, horrible UI. But, you know. How do I exit the game, for example? I mean, lucky for me, I have this little I can just, is it turn to title? Okay. Yes. I guess I'm not a real Yakuza then. Versus mini games. I'm just curious to see the other things. Cool. I like that you can replay things because I was only half paying attention to some of those. Nice. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'll be back again next week, if not before. I'll probably play some Oro at some point. Yeah, only criminal psychopaths use a gamepad. I'll be back soon, and thanks for hanging out. And that's all. Yeah. See you next time. Whoa.